Since working with my coach, my turnover's increased by 400%.
Fantastic.
That's insane. That is absolutely insane. And so I hit a point where I was just like, we're not really growing as a business. I plateaued for a while now. It's just like, what do I do next? And it was kind of daunting. It was kind of daunting. It's just like, frustration for sure. Like you're putting all this time and effort and you're spending a lot of time working and nothing's really happening. Nothing's really changing. Would I be at the same place that I'm at now without the help? Almost certainly not. I figured, right, these people have spent a lot of time learning and educating themselves. Why not go to someone who's already spent the time and the effort invested in their own development and learn from them? It's the same reason why we have teachers at school. Direction and accountability, right? Because people, even when you're off by yourself, you've got a vague idea of certain bits and pieces that you think you should be doing, right? But unless, when you're at the top, there's no one else cracking a whip, right? And so complacency is a big thing that can happen. So yeah, so having someone who could teach me what I need to know and having someone to make sure that I actually followed through and did all of this stuff as well, like those are two of the big benefits I've got from coaching. Some of the biggest things, time management, first of all, 100%. Planning an organization, you need it. The importance of systemization, building stuff, building processes to really build a scalable vehicle. Like until you start documenting and doing stuff like that, you're never going to be able to escape. Running a business is not easy, and it's good to have someone to vent to who knows how your business works, the kind of troubles you're facing, and just a shoulder to, just an ear to listen. But having someone who's not, let's say he's not connected to you beforehand, there's no pre-existing relationship with you, someone who can be objective with all of this, because as you start to build relationships, objectivity can go out of the window. And one thing coaching or coaches do, or especially Jeff, is that he manages to maintain an element of objectivity. I'd say pretty much immediately, right? Like even from the first positioning exercise, actually one of the most important things, right, is seeing a change from within that happen when you do the alignment, right? So you've kind of got an idea of what you want to do, but having someone to sit down with you and actually map out what are your dreams, ambitions, your goals, your wants and stuff like that, like that's a massively empowering and focusing exercise. Jeff does, I don't know if it's just Jeff or if it's the ActionCOACH methodology or whatnot, but like Jeff in particular does a fantastic job of encouraging and building community around him. There's a load of business owners from all sorts of disciplines, but although what people churn out at the end of the day is different, fundamentally running a business is all the same, and seeing a lot of people from a lot of different walks of life with their own experiences being able to freely share information, that's priceless. That's like another layer of coaching you've got there. I think my family do definitely see a difference. So I guess the real difference is when I first started Impact, it was a case my parents were always just like, Rick, you're not earning enough, you need to go back to being a lawyer for years and years and years and years this is going on. But it's only really now that that's flipped, where to the point where I'll tell you it was a massive show of encouragement, right? Is that they actually invested in me for part of the acquisition as well, right? And they would never have done that years ago. So they must see a change in myself for them to be able to be in that position where they think it's a responsible and it's a wise move to do. Financially, it's probably taken, well, it's been growing organically, right, to begin with. So pre-COVID, before I went into mergers and acquisitions, it's just little bit by little bit over time. But at least there was growth that was happening, right? Meaningful growth bit by bit. So I guess, yeah, starting to see changes almost immediately. Since working with my coach, my turnover's increased by 400%. Profitability, we've always been profitable, but we're a lot more profitable now, right? So you hit a point where where we've hired a good team in place, right? So our fixed costs are largely remaining the same, whereas the business is growing, so profitability increases month on month. Just doing the fun stuff that I've always wanted to do. Work-life balance is perfect, like 8 hours a day, and I get everything I need to get done. It's gonna be exciting. There's a lot of stuff going ahead. We've got some really cool growth strategies ahead of us. And we've got some fun stuff in the pipeline. Yeah, 100% get a coach. Well, look, I'm a coachable guy, and like I love learning from people anyway, and I fully appreciate the value of having a coach. That's the same reason we have teachers at school. What you're doing is paying for a coach, you're investing in yourself and your own development, right? That's how you really got to see it by the end of the day.